one company can become global and become very profitable to levels that we've never seen before.
Yeah.
And that level of profitability has attracted more capital in. So for example, venture capitals didn't exist before. So now you can have an internet idea and you can get, you know, huge amount of money starting off fairly quickly. That hasn't changed the fact that these people want return on their money. But what it has changed the economics or the dynamics of the firms and what firms, you know, like, you know, we were studying Apple today. They make 60 billion, you know, last year in net income. You know, 50 years ago there didn't exist such a company that made this kind of money. If you took away, you know, oil companies. So the dynamics have changed, but the investment principles, I don't think that the investment principles have changed. But they might disagree with me.
Yes.
I think I do disagree with you.
Yeah.
I do see your point that like the core principle didn't change because you're just going to look at interest rates or your benchmark, and that has been going on for like a lot of years, right? But then there are so many more theories nowadays than there were before, right? And this is all because of the change that we had in the world.
Exactly.
Yeah, of course. There are, of course, a lot of things have changed.
And like as you said, to me, like Kapan for you doesn't work, right? But then for someone else, we had this discussion together.
What was Kapan? What is it?
The Kapan formula.
Oh, right, yes.
Right? You say that,
Kapan, yes,
like, don't use it,
no, I don't.
just bin it, and everything else. But at the same time, I would tell you, like, one of my lecturers, she's very passionate about it, and she would use it.
Yeah.
So, it has changed, I think, a lot. Because, and before, people used to like go to uni, study these things, and then just apply these things. And I don't see that happening nowadays. Like there are so many things that we are taught in uni, and we don't even use them in real life.
I mean, even the very creation of Apple, I'm not disagreeing with anybody who's even the creation of Apple in itself symbolizes how the world has changed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't argue.
I think which is what he said.
Yeah, I don't argue with the world changing. I just would like to think that some principles have not changed in terms of, you know, investment decision making. Right? That shouldn't have changed very much. But of course, the world has changed. The type of investments have changed, but we can agree to disagree.
Yes.
Add to Ravi's point, like I was thinking, like while a lot of things have changed, math. If you take math as plain, like calculus hasn't changed.
It's
like
the same for like 2,000 years.
Yeah, exactly. And things can get added on, and depend like.
But then we can argue that math is kind of exact. Like 2 + 2 = 4. There is not another answer.
Yeah.
Unless you see it from a business perspective.
But then we could also say we've used calculus and matrix algebra to build these computers. So that has changed in the way that we see the usage of math molding into other things.
I think what's changed over the years is if we leave investing and we go to business, the way the business is introduced has made a difference, but then there are some things fundamental that, like the investing formula or like a formula.
You know, okay, think about management. I mean, the whole field of organizational psychology, which is relatively new,
Is management.
Is it what?
Is management.
And but what happened to organization in the last few years?
They've had a more
What
resourceful human resource department.
Yeah.
They care more about satisfaction.
But things like productivity, blah 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 blah, as your dependent variable, coming out of, we said, all sorts of employee factors, individual factors, yeah? And when I'm saying employees, different levels of management, what happened in many organizations today?
It has changed a lot.
What has changed?
And one of my favorite theories is the X and Y theory. actually. I don't know if you guys know about it, but basically it shows how organizations have changed from previous years and how people were managed. And theory X says that there was the person in charge telling you, you have to do this, and if you don't do it, you get out of the job. I'm just simplifying it. The theory goes, like it's a whole theory and very long, but anyway. And then the Y theory is that saying that we shouldn't do this because this is going to discourage people like from working and doing their work and doing it as better as they can. And theory Y says that you have to like motivate them and tell them maybe, of course, like you have to criticize them as well if you like feel like they haven't done the job properly, but give them motivation as well, because before what was happening, you'd never get good job, like
Right.
you did well,
Right.
and yeah, that's the theory basically.
Yeah, spot on, but the biggest but is, where are a lot of employees these days?
Remote, right.
Where are
Local,
they?
everywhere.
At home.
Yeah.
At home.
I would say a lot of them are in India.
At home in India. I mean, think about it. Again, like, and where's the high street? Look what's happening in the UK. Almost every month. Now, that's not just an issue of, you know, the way things are. It's an issue about, it almost pulls the rug from under the feet of established theories and models. That's what I'm saying. But it pulls the rug from under the feet, not because of the independent variables, not because of the issues that are explaining something, but because that's what I'm saying, a lot of the meaning of what the concept is, political participation, business, employee, all these are concepts. They've changed. The concept itself is changing. So actually what we used to think of, maybe you can think, here's an idea for you, maybe you can think about what we call the employee, we can make up a new language. A concept to describe what? An employee that works from home, for example.
Remote employee.
It becomes, sorry?
Remote employee.
It becomes significant. Now remember, the primary objective all along, that's how I began our week. We said the world is full of concepts, you local one of them. Whatever this concept is very important, but it's only the first step into trying to explain this concept. Which is why we focused a lot on explanation and on sort of principles or foundations of how we look at things, how we move from different level of abstraction, etc. What I'm saying is that start thinking about it like that. What the concept is, I think, is going through major transformation in each and every discipline and each and every field. Even something like what the business is, even something like what an employee is, what a boss is. Who's your boss? You know, a boss used to shout at you, you were a bit scared. That affects your productivity. Or you need to, you know, to get to the office at 8 o'clock, he can see you. You can check if you're there or not. And if you're not, you can deal with it. That affects productivity. The when and how we sack people make them redundant. So what I'm saying is that if you look at every discipline, a discipline is that ask certain questions about certain things. In history you put different types of dependent variables. We talked about it. In sociology, different type of dependent variables. In philosophy, in business, in management, different type of dependent variables. All I'm saying, start thinking about it like that. The type and the nature and the meaning of the dependent variables, which every discipline is dealing with, and I said even psychology, let alone management, business, etc., actually is changing, in my mind, dramatically, which means a lot of original ideas should, in this saturated market, yeah, that's a market, it's an academic market, it's a saturated market with ideas, with models, with theories, with publications, with books. In this saturated market, start looking into how things are a bit different, the things that you're interested in. Business, not exactly the same of what it was 5 years ago, even 5 years ago. And your perspective can start, there's a lot, I just believe that there's a lot of space opening up for you to actually bring something new to the table. Even if you write just an essay,